Morning, folks. That's busy as usual.
Just taking Dad out of the percolator.
Bit unusual this, because I was out with Mick yesterday and did a video, and I've uploaded it. So actually today, that's what you're going to be watching. So this video that I'm doing now, you won't see what tomorrow. Which is unusual for us, because we usually upload a video every day, and it's up to date, it's current.
Yeah.
So today, well, Pat, she was left on her own yesterday, was Pat. It's not often that happens. And she did a good job tidying up outside backyard yesterday. She's not finished it, she said.
It's taken 2 days to get to where it is now.
Yeah, there's a settee out there, you know, a wicker settee, and it's got a cover on it, and that cover is absolutely green.
You want to show them?
That cover.
Yeah.
It's really green. And we were dreading taking that cover off, because we thought, God knows what condition it'll be in under that cover. Pat says she took cover off yesterday and it looked alright.
Everything, they didn't feel damp or anything. Well, you can see how green it gets.
Look at it there.
Pulled it away from the wall.
How green it is.
But
and yet underneath it's fine.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see
amazed.
where I've cleaned.
So Pat's been doing all this.
Going in between
all
and
cracks.
This is what it will like.
Yeah, it will like
I've
this.
got that to do now.
Yeah. The horses over there at field.
They're coming up. No. Get somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Tracy usually has to get in canal in her waders to cut
Yeah,
that
she does,
tree,
to
doesn't
cut this. Ah, yeah, this fence here. Where's my hand? Oh, there. This fence. That little foundry I filmed yesterday while we were walking down Kirksey Road, that's where she had this fencing made.
Down both houses.
Yeah. There.
And up on that balcony.
Ah, yeah, them as well. With the balcony there, yeah.
Well, you can see what happens to chairs when they're just
Yeah,
left out as
yeah,
they're left out.
the settee under that cover is like those two chairs there, they're in David's. They all go green,
Yeah.
but they're alright, and there's cushions as well under there, and they're
Yeah,
alright as
green,
well.
yeah.
Look at tabletop, how green
Yeah,
that is.
I haven't done that
Everything
yet.
just goes so green.
And you redid all that fence, didn't
No,
you?
I got
Well-
that end bit there, and bottom bit needs doing yet. I haven't done that yet.
No.
Yeah, it's cooler today, isn't
It
it?
is cooler,
Yeah. It looks a lot better though, Pat.
I had a jumper on yesterday, so I've just got this little bit to do.
Yeah,
Hopefully I can get that done this morning.
this side here.
Yes.
Oh, you're coming out here this morning. Well,
I'm going to put a
aren't
jumper
you
on.
coming with me in van?
Oh,
I've
where?
got to go outdoors to
Oh.
get that. See if I can get that sack trolley,
Right,
and then to see if I can get some gas.
okay.
I didn't know whether you wanted to come with me or not.
No, I think I'll
No.
stay here and finish this.
Oh, all
I
right.
don't want to leave it half done, because we're
Right.
going on Sunday.
Yeah,
aren't
we are. Yeah.
There's only today and tomorrow.
On a bit of a zoomed in, didn't I? You couldn't really see it properly.
Oh, come here.
Well, you could see it properly, but we're a bit close up.
Right.
Oh, good.
Careful. Step.
Tumbling. She won't let me in. So that's that. Just better drink this before it goes cold.
Yeah. Wash up.
Now, I woke up, I don't know, 2 o'clock, maybe this morning.
Yeah. Oh look, my glasses have gone.
Ah, yeah, they are. They're them glasses that turn up and
Yeah.
go dark on their own. And I was laid there thinking away. And Pat says, why are you awake? I says, I'm thinking of all sorts of things. What are you thinking about? I says, oh, you won't believe what I'm thinking about.
Right, convoluted.
And I said to her, I don't know if I can remember. If I'd remember what I was thinking about in the morning. I'm going to try and remember what I was thinking about and tell you. But it's really complicated. It's really weird. But, how am I going to say? You know, I was talking to you not so long ago about absolutes, that I believe in absolutes. And I was trying to think, how could I better explain what I mean by absolutes? You know, I said that the universe obeys the laws of absolutes. And I was trying to think, how can I explain it? And there were 2 things that I thought of how I might be able to explain it. One was from the Bible. You know that Moses had to go on Mount Sinai to have the 10 Commandments given to him by God, and he come down from the mount, and the 10 Commandments were written on 2 tablets of stone. And then 2 tablets of stone, the 10 Commandments, were put into the Ark of the Covenant. There were 3 things in that Ark. The 10 Commandments. There were Moses' rod that budded. Did you know about Moses' rod that budded?
It was his staff, wasn't it?
It was his staff.
His walking stick thing.
And when he was challenging Pharaoh to let his people go, because Pharaoh had them enslaved in Egypt, and to prove Moses to prove to Pharaoh that he had God on his side, he threw his staff down on the ground and it budded. And some flowers grew out of it. And that was there was something else in the Ark of the Covenant, but I can't remember what it was. And that Ark, it had to be carried. It had 4 rings on it, 2 on either side. And it had poles that slid through these rings. And it was carried on the shoulders. And I believe the only people who could carry it were Levites. That's the sons of Levi. The descendants of Levi were the only people who were allowed to carry the Ark of the Covenant. And as they travelled through the wilderness, every time they stopped and camped, they had to carry the ark, and then they had to build a tabernacle out of these curtains. There were these curtains, and they all had these rings on the top of them, and there were so many rings on top of each curtain, and it was measured. It was like a
square.
A square, well, an oblong shape, and then a little tent at the end to keep the Ark of the Covenant in. That were called the tabernacle, and it had to be, conform to this certain measurement. And nobody could carry the Ark of the Covenant, and it had to be set up every time they stopped in the midst of the children of Israel. It had to be set up, this tabernacle.
Bit like a church, really, I suppose.
Well, the Anglican church, the design, the layout of an Anglican church is based on this tabernacle, because it has the area where the congregation sits, and then it has what they call the holy place. There's like a barrier, a low barrier, and then that bit there's the holy, and then the next bit is the holiest of holies.
Yes, where there's usually a big
oblong box
shape
with the candles on it and a cross.
And little
Yeah.
toilet.
Well, that's based on the
Tabernacle.
the design of the tabernacle. Yeah.
And the ark.
And God said to Moses, "Whilever you do this, I'm with you." And the commandments were a principle by which they should live. The rod that budded was to remind them that they'd been delivered out of captivity of the Egyptians. And that was an absolute. There was no deviation in it. And so far as they deviated from that absolute, then so far was God not with them any longer, and things would go wrong for them. In a way, it reminds me of John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress. Don't know if you've ever read that, but it's about Pilgrim who left the city of destruction to go to the celestial city. And on his journey, he met Faithful, who were a companion, but they had to travel through Vanity Fair. And the people in Vanity Fair had drifted so far away. Now, this journey is cerebral. It's not a physical journey, it's a cerebral journey. A little bit on the lines of the children of Israel coming out of captivity into the promised land, because that's where they were heading. They were heading for their promised land, and this journey in Pilgrim's Progress is a cerebral journey reflecting the very same thing. And they had to travel through Vanity Fair, and the people in Vanity Fair were unruly and had left off all the principles by which they should live. And Faithful told them they had, and they were so outraged with him, they burnt him at the stake. And so that's one side of the thing about absolutes. I mean,
He's laid there thinking of all this last night outside of me.
But the other bit was a bird. A bird, you know, let's say a swift, for the want of any kind of breed of bird, we'll say a swift. Swifts migrate, don't they? They'll turn up here at Town Street, Rodley, anytime soon. They'll turn up. And they behave after their kind. They all behave after their kind. They don't have a choice about that. They have to migrate. It's something they have to do.
It's inbred in them.
It's inbred into them. It's been designed into them. Now, they don't know why they do it, and I don't. I don't know why they have to come all the way from Africa to Rodley to breed and then go back again in September.
And young uns go as well, and they've never been before, have they?
Yeah.
They just know where to go.
And they have to eat a certain amount of food in preparation to migrate. If they don't eat enough, they won't have enough energy to make the journey across the water. And if they eat too much, they become too heavy. So they likewise run out of energy and can't make the journey. So they have to eat a precise amount of food to have enough strength to make the journey. And they have to do this every year of their life. It's an absolute. Can you imagine if all the swallows got together and decided, why do we have to do this? You know, this has been going on. Previous generations have always done this. Why should we have to do this? We're more enlightened now. You know, we know things that they didn't know then. We don't need to fly all that way anymore. if they all decided we don't want to do that anymore, then before very long, they'll all get fat and lazy, and eventually they'll after, I don't know, years and years and years and years, they'll become extinct. They'll jeopardise because they've departed from this absolute. And that's what I was thinking about last night. How could I describe absolutes? And that's what's happening in our land. Now, the trouble with me is, unlike Faithful, who was brave and courageous and told the people in Vanity Fair what they'd done and what they hadn't done, I don't have his guts, I don't have his courage to say it. I know, but I can't tell you, because it's so taboo. We've drifted so far that the things that we've drifted from have become so outrageous to our generation. It's impossible. It should be like the swallows, that they were so, now, after 100 years of not migrating, they were so incapable of doing it, they couldn't return to it. They could not return to it, they've gone too far. And we are like that. We've gone so far, we've moved so far away from the absolutes by which we should live. We can't return to it. And I can't tell you, because I don't have Faithful's courage to do it, because you'll burn me at the stake.
You don't.
And that's what I was thinking about in bed last night.
Yeah. Oh dear. Never mind, love. You got off to sleep eventually, didn't you?
Eventually, yeah. So there we are. So you won't hear this until tomorrow. Which is today. So today is the tomorrow that I worried about yesterday. Right. Okay, folks, so I hope you enjoy my trip out with Mick. It was an interesting day out. Yeah, I'll show Pat it now, so you can see it.
Right.
See you, folks.
Bye.
Bye.